featuring the biggest names and the best stories in sports. The following is a presentation of E60. Sports matter.
Since the beginning of time, people ask themselves, what are they put on this earth to do? Some people never truly know. For Ian Zamorsky, drafting was his true calling. This is his story.
Ever since I was a baby, I would draft everything I could get my hands on. I remember whenever I was younger, I would get my action figures and line them up and rank them, who could run the routes the best or who had the biggest hands.
In drafting, every move you make defines you.
I started bringing my drafting skills into my dating life. I would rank my women off of their childbearing hips. At the top of my list, I would have Kate Upton, Scarlett Jo, and Tom Brady's wife. But then you got your risky picks, like Miley Cyrus, Lindsay Lohan, and the Olsen twins.
What if I told you Ian Zamorsky is the reason why we are all here?
Ian, take us back to when you created Saving Ryan's Privates League. You were commish, but not anymore. Tell us what happened.
Well, I created the league, just starting out. I just wanted all our friends to come together. I heard fantasy football was cool, so it was just a fun way to get together, be competitive with each other, and that's why I started it.
Did you know at the time how your actions would affect the world?
Listen, I did what I thought was right. Okay, you can say all these speculations about how I changed it. Maybe some people lost that shouldn't have. Whatever. I did what I thought was right.
Mm-hmm. Did you feel like you made the right decision to change the QB?
Yeah. Just the QBs that year were going off. I couldn't do anything about it. Tom Brady had like the best year of his career. Aaron Rodgers was awesome. I think he might have been MVP that year. I don't freaking know.
So, what was your overall view on the first season?
It was a little bit shaky. I feel like every organization starting out has its flaws, but I think overall it was a good year. It was a good building block of the years to come. This year, last year, this whole league. But I think that, with my help, that we started something special.
This is what Kobe Bryant had to say.
Because it's one thing in watching him play, and then it's another thing in playing against him. His technique was flawless.
So, Ian, let's get back to this year. The first couple seasons, you couldn't buy your way into the playoffs. But this past year, you made it to the league championship. Tell me, what changed from the first seasons to last season?
Well, Alec, I think there's a lot of good teams out here, and then there's a lot of bad teams. And we, unfortunately, got a lot of bad teams this past year. I think overall, what really helped me was Bartosh's wheeling and dealing. I think that his strategic moves that he did, his trades and his free agent pickups that he acquired, were really the building blocks of how I got into the championship. He got a lot of good players for a lot of crappy players, and so that really helped. All I had to do was beat Bartosh, which was, pretty easy. And then it was championship.
Ian thought he could just slide past everybody on his way to become fantasy champion. Little did he know, he would get stuck along the way.
Now, what happened in that memorable championship game?
Well, long story short, Alec, Andrew Luck. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Are you going to draft Andrew Luck again this year with a bad performance?
I mean,
from last year?
he was the league leader in everything. He's the one that got me to the championship, but unfortunately, he's the one that cost me the championship. If he's there in the early rounds, I'm going to take him. I think he's got a lot of good weapons. They upgraded the line, but I don't know if he's going to be my first pick.
Okay. Who's going to be your biggest challenge?
Whew. I think Chris Miller. I think he's geared up for a comeback year after a pitiful excuse for a season last year.
Ian thought he should give back to the community by teaching inner city kids how to draft.
All right, Jay Quillen. What rounds do you draft kickers in?
Do you mean Jacqueline?
The correct response, Jay Quillen, was the freaking 15th round.
Ian was asked about the upcoming season. Long story short, he said, "None of you pipe-hitting bitches ain't gonna win this shit. And if you ain't talking about money, he don't want to talk." Every Sunday, Ian prays to the fantasy gods.
Okay, Ian. I'm going to list each of your colleagues. Why don't you give me a few words to describe each member?
Okay.
Chase Adams.
Chase. He's rusty. He hasn't participated in it within a year. He's also distracted a lot. Shelby. And he's also dumber than Chris at drafting.
Chris Miller.
Chris has the drafting skills of the Oakland Raiders, and he's pretty much unnoticeable throughout the league.
Jacob Standard.
Jacob. Well, for starters, he's a drunk now. Anyone who puts Seneca Wallace as their starting QB is just a retard. And I don't even know why really he's in our league.
Ryan Robinson.
Ryan. He's the kind of guy that will most likely draft either a suspended player or an injured player. Probably 3 or 4 times in a row. And he's mostly cheap. Soup and salad.
Efren Rodriguez, Santiago, Bermuda Triangle.
Efren. Probably most likely to draft LaShawn McCoy. Probably the 5th time in a row. And he's Mexican.
He is Mexican.
He is Mexican.
He's Mexican.
Arriba.
Mark LaJudas.
Who?
Mark LaJudas.
Who is he?
Tell me a little something about Luke Evans.
Oof, Luke. Arians only. Probably gonna get the first pick again in the draft. And if he has 3 people out and he's going against you, you're gonna lose.
The commish, Alexander Miller.
Alexander, huh? I'm gonna tell you a little bit about him. That bastard needs to get impeached. Nobody likes him. I was better. I was way better than him. Well, on a lighter note, I beat him every year in the Russell Bowl. And for those of you who know, he pulled it from the dick.
And last but not least, Cameron Bartosh.
Bartosh. Well, he's a bullshit trader, first and foremost. I don't know why people trade with him. Probably got dumbasses in our league again. He's a child molester. If you're under 16 years old, he's going to talk to you. But I guess the good part about him is he's Czech.
Looks like Ian is ready for this season. Are you?